today I'm going to be talking about some pies and why that is an American staple food, and I'll also be talking about the process of baking a lemon meringue pie and just why baking and cooking is a great skill to have in general. So did you guys know that according to the APC, or the American Pie Council, that over 700 million pies are sold every year in grocery stores? And that doesn't include restaurants or food clubs, anything like that, only in grocery stores. So pretty much we all like pie. I mean, who doesn't? Pie is great and can be eaten for all kinds of meals. Some people like to eat it after meals, or they can have it for their main meal. So dinner, lunch, and in some countries, pie for breakfast is pretty common. At Thanksgiving, you have pumpkin and pecan pies, and at Christmas, you have apple or eggnog pies. Each pie is full of different flavors and textures that make a pie unique. So I'm not a professional at baking, but I definitely enjoy it, and I've been baking since I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and I just always loved the process of starting from scratch and creating something that you can see other people enjoy. My first job was actually baking pies for a cafe every morning, and I did that for just over a year. There were even some days that I had to go in really early in the morning and make 70 pies on weeks for like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, and one of my favorite pies to make was the lemon meringue pie, and still to this day is my favorite pie to make, and I make it all the time. So I'm going to be talking about who created the lemon meringue pie and how it was popularized, and then I'll be going over my process of how I make my lemon meringue pie and just why cooking and baking is a great skill to have. So according to an article written by Larissa Milne on USA Today 10 Best, the first known baker to create the lemon meringue pie was Elizabeth Goodfellow. She was very widely known throughout Philadelphia for all of her baked goods. She also started America's first cooking school. So one of her most popular dishes was her lemon pudding. And back then, lemons were a delicacy, and unlike today, puddings were made with tons of butter and egg yolks, so they were super rich. So then after a while, she started putting her lemon pudding into a pastry shell and serving it as a lemon pie. And then not long after, she was realizing how many egg whites that she had left over because she was only using the yolks for her pudding. So that's when she came up with the idea to make a meringue. And if any of you guys have had meringue before, it's basically just whipped egg whites and sugar. Meringue ended up being a huge success in the early 19th century, and to this day is still a great way to top any pie. So thanks to Goodfellow, lemon meringue pie is one of the most popular pies today and is pretty simple to make. So now I'm going to be going over the process of how I make my lemon meringue pie. And my favorite recipe is the one that was published in 1998 on the Taste of Home website. It's called Grandma's Lemon Meringue Pie. Now there are tons of different recipes that you can find for this pie that are simpler, but personally this has been my favorite one so far. So your first step is going to be getting your pastry shell, and that is super simple. You can find all different kinds of recipes on how to make it. It's basically just flour, water, salt, you can add vinegar if you want, and shortening or butter. Super simple, it's not hard to make, or you can just go make one or go buy one at the grocery store to save time. So then you're going to start on your lemon pudding, which is a little more complicated, but I'm going to make it sound pretty simple. So first you're going to get